with there are individuals in your life whose intentions are far from pure. You might have shared moments, trust, and even deep connections with them, only to realize that they are the root cause of the chaos and distress in your life. Whether it's a colleague, a so-called friend, or even a family member, these people can be master manipulators, hiding behind a facade of charm and charisma. However, our goal today is not to dwell on the darker aspects of human behavior, but to help you protect yourself. The Stoics believed in the clear perception and life governed by reason and virtue. By learning how to spot these toxic traits, weaken our inner peace and cultivate healthier relationships, aligned with Stoic ideals of wisdom and self-control. Join us as we uncover 6 clear indicators of a person with malicious intentions. By the end of the video, not only will you be able to recognize these behaviors more easily, you'll also gain valuable tools to safeguard your mental and emotional well-being. And as always, if you find our content meaningful, a simple subscription would be greatly appreciated. Stay tuned for a special segment at the end, where I'll share an effective technique for setting strong boundaries with individuals. Together, we can embark on a journey of self-awareness, resilience, and growth. 1. Charming and charismatic at first. When encountering someone initially appearing and charismatic, it's essential to remember that surface impressions are often. These individuals have a gift for captivating a room, making others feel important and cherished. They seem to know precisely how to make you feel as though you've found a kindred spirit. At first glance, they seem ideal, clever, engaging, and apparently interested in your life. It's easy to get swept up in their allure, believing you've encountered someone remarkable. But here is where Stoicism calls us to pause. The Stoic perspective urges us to look beyond the surface, seeking truth through clear observation and rational thought. Over time, you may begin to notice subtle inconsistencies. Perhaps they constantly seek the spotlight, overshadowing others in social interactions. They may interrupt conversations, talk over you, or even subtly belittle you in front of others. These aren't harmless quirks or signs of an outgoing personality. They are red flags. Stoicism teaches us to observe these behaviors with a calm, discerning mind, untainted by the excitement of initial encounters. Picture yourself at a gathering, where this individual becomes the center of a dazzling with jokes and stories. At first, great to bask in their presence, but as the night unfolds, you realize they'd every conversation, making each interaction about themselves. When you try to contribute, they swiftly steer the conversation back to their own experiences. This is where the Stoic principle of apathy or remaining undisturbed by external influences comes into play. By maintaining emotional equilibrium, you can pierce through their charming exterior and recognize the egocentric nature beneath. It's equally important to note how they react when circumstances don't align with their desires. In the next sections, we'll uncover more signs, explore Stoic strategies to protect your peace in the face of such individuals. A person who is truly kind and compassionate handles disappointment and conflict with grace, patience, and understanding. However, an individual who is merely acting in a way to earn your trust may quickly show signs of anger or defensiveness when things don't go their way. They might lash out or attempt to manipulate the situation to regain control. In the teachings of Stoicism, such reactions are clear markers of a lack of virtuous character. Marcus Aurelius warns us to be cautious of those who exhibit anger or manipulative tendencies, for these are not the attributes of someone guided by reason or virtue. The lesson here is to take your time and trust your instincts. This placed great emphasis on the power of observation and the danger of rushing to judgment. Epictetus urged us to thoroughly evaluate the character of those we allow into our inner circle. If someone seems too perfect, too charming, it's wise to create space and observe their actions over time. Pay attention to how they treat others, especially when they believe no one is watching. True character is revealed in moments when a person has nothing to gain. Not everyone with charm and charisma harbors good intentions. Some wield charm as a tool for manipulation. By staying grounded in mindfulness and Stoic wisdom, we shield ourselves from falling for superficial facades. By adhering to the principles of wisdom and discernment, we better navigate these complex human interactions. 2. Lack of empathy. Another key indicator of someone with poor intentions is a distinct lack of empathy. Empathy, the ability to understand and connect with the emotions of others, is what binds us together in meaningful relationships. It allows us to offer comfort, support, and share in each other's joys and sorrows. Yet, there are individuals who seem completely devoid of this essential quality. They move through life unconcerned with how their actions affect others, leaving emotional wreckage in their wake. Stoicism holds compassion and understanding as essential virtues. Marcus Aurelius frequently spoke about the interconnectedness of humanity and emphasized that the well-being of others is deeply tied to our own well-being. When someone blatantly disregards the emotions of others, this signals a deep flaw in their character. Imagine confiding in a friend, sharing something deeply personal, only to have your vulnerability dismissed or mocked. This lack of empathy can leave you feeling isolated and misunderstood. It's not just about failing to provide support in times of need. People who lack empathy often fail to celebrate your successes as well. Such a person may even undermine your achievements or try to claim credit for them. This behavior isn't confined to personal relationships. It can manifest in professional environments too. Consider a manager who overworks their employees without regard for their well-being, ignoring pleas for rest or balance, or humiliating them in public rather than offering constructive feedback. These actions create a toxic work environment where people feel undervalued and disrespected. The Stoics would remind us to protect our inner peace and maintain our integrity in such situations, recognizing that the lack of empathy in others is a reflection of their flawed character, not our worth. 3. A more lack of empathy. Beyond simple disregard, a lack of empathy can give rise to more harmful behaviors. Those who cannot empathize may engage in actions that are overtly cruel, and they do so without any sense of guilt or remorse. They may lie, cheat, or even inflict harm on others with no regard for the suffering they cause. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, stressed the importance of kindness and justice, teaching that our actions must always align with our inner virtues. When empathy is absent, it reveals a deep disconnection from these values. A lack of empathy can also surface in subtle, everyday ways. Perhaps someone constantly interrupts conversations to talk about themselves, shows little interest in others' perspectives, or consistently fails to offer help when it's clearly needed. While these may seem like minor offenses, they are often part of a larger pattern of behavior that points to a lack of true empathy. Ultimately, these signs, whether manifest in grand gestures or in the quiet moments of day-to-day interactions, serve as warnings. The Stoics remind us that we must always be vigilant, discerning the intentions of those around us, and keeping close only those whose character is rooted in wisdom, compassion, and virtue. The Stoics would counsel us to remain observant and discerning, understanding that even the smallest signs can reveal a person's true nature. If you encounter someone who consistently lacks empathy, it becomes crucial to set boundaries, protecting both your mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics champion championed the idea of safeguarding our inner peace and not allowing the actions or negativity of others to disturb that tranquility. You possess the right to distance yourself from those who drain your energy or undermine your sense of self. This brings us to the third sign of a toxic individual: manipulation. 4. Manipulation. Manipulation is one of the most telling traits of a person with malevolent intent. It involves the use of deceit, subtle tactics, and cunning strategies to control or influence others for personal gain. This behavior often operates in the shadows, unnoticed until the damage has already been done. Manipulators excel at twisting reality, making you question your perceptions, and bending your will to serve their interests. The result is often confusion, helplessness, and a loss of confidence in your own judgments. From a Stoic perspective, manipulation stands in direct opposition to clarity of thought and perception. The Stoics valued truth and the ability to see the world as it truly is. They taught that our minds must remain grounded in reality, and that we should remain unwavering in our principles regardless of external pressures. Manipulators, by contrast, aim to cloud your distorting the truth and pulling you away from ideals of rationality and virtue. One of the most common forms of manipulation is gaslighting, a psychological tactic where the manipulator sows seeds of doubt in your mind about your own memories, perceptions, or sanity. They might deny events that took place or twist your words to make it seem as though you are at fault. Consider this example: you confront a friend about something hurtful they said, and instead of acknowledging it, they turn the blame onto you. They accuse you of being too sensitive or misremembering what happened. This form of manipulation slowly erodes your confidence and leaves you reliant on the manipulator's version of reality, disconnected from your own. Manipulators are also masters at playing the victim. They know others into doing things by making them feel responsible for their well-being. A so-called friend might constantly unload their problems onto you, expecting you to drop everything to help, yet they are never there when you need support. They might say, "If you were really my friend, you'd do this for me," trapping you into a sense of obligation. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught the importance of recognizing what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control the emotions, actions, or desires of others, only how we choose to respond. Flattery and charm are also tools frequently employed by manipulators. At first, their compliments may feel gratifying, making you feel appreciated and special. But over time, you begin to notice that their praise comes with conditions. They may flatter you only when they want something or when they need you to do something for them. This creates implicit debt, making you feel as though you must live up to their expectations in order to maintain their. The Stoics would remind us that true worth comes from within, and its virtue should depend on the approval or validations. Manipulation can also take isolation. Manipulative individuals may attempt to sever connections with friends and making you dependent on them. They might say, "Your friends don't care about you," or "Family doesn't understand you like I do." This isolates you from your support network, making you more vulnerable to their control. Such behavior runs contrary to Stoic values. The Stoics believed in fostering strong, supportive relationships, recognizing that humans are social creatures who thrive in the company of others. Isolation undermines these bonds, leaving us more susceptible to manipulation. Financial manipulation is another tactic often employed by those with ill intent. They may borrow money without ever repaying it, or they might exert control over your finances to limit your independence. A partner might insist on managing all the money, forcing you to ask permission for every expenditure. This type of control makes it difficult to assert your autonomy or leave the relationship. The Stoics would encourage us to seek self-sufficiency and independence, ensuring that our well-being is never placed in the hands of another. True freedom comes from living in accordance with reason, virtue, and self-reliance, free from the manipulation and control of others. In the end, manipulation, whether subtle or overt, represents a fundamental violation of Stoic principles. It distorts reality, erodes autonomy, and weakens our ability to live in with nature and reason. By practicing discernment and setting firm boundaries, we can protect ourselves from such toxic influences and remain steadfast in our pursuit of virtue. Recognizing manipulation for what it truly is can be difficult, especially when you can individual involved. Yet, the Stoics remind us to remain, to sharpen our and to see the world with clarity. When someone may be manipulating you, it's essential to pause, step, and assess the situation from an objective. Ask yourself, consistently prioritizing their desires over yours. Do they leave you feeling guilty, confused, or unsure of yourself? Are they trying to exert control over aspects of your life or isolate you from others? These are not small concerns, but signs of deeper manipulative behavior. In such cases, it becomes crucial to establish firm boundaries, to clearly and assertively communicate what is and is not acceptable. The Stoics would remind you that you have the right to your own thoughts, your own needs, and your own choices. While we control the actions or intent of others, we are fully in control. We choose to respond. By holding fast to our strength, remaining clear in our purpose, and true to our values, protect ourselves from the correct of manipulation. 5. Control behavior. One of the clearest and most telling signs of a toxic individual is controlling behavior. This goes beyond mere preferences or quirks. It involves someone seeking to dominate every aspect of your life, leaving space for your autonomy, for your ability to make decisions freely. Such individuals often cloak their need for control in the guise of care or concern, yet underneath this facade is a drive for power and domination. The Stoics, who held personal freedom and self-governance in the highest regard, would view such behavior as fundamentally opposed to the virtue of life. Controlling behavior can manifest in many subtle ways. For example, I'd always insist on where you go or what you do. Worst, it may seem over time, to realize that your prayers are consistently did, that your voice is silenced. They might say things like, "I'm best for us," or "Trust me, you'll enjoy this more if you just listen to me." This is not about mutual decision-making, it is about one person imposing their will over another. In romantic relationships, controlling behavior can become even more sinister. A partner may monitor your movements, demand constant updates, or even dictate who you can or cannot see. They might go through your phone, read your messages, or insist on knowing every password. This level of surveillance creates a suffocating atmosphere where you find yourself walking on eggshells, constantly fearful of doing something that may ignite conflict.